Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're on the website of French auction portal Encheres, and we're going to have a look at an auction by Brioult Encheres. It's the first time that we've come across this particular auction company. Now they have an auction of kind of general items which contain some musical instruments, of which I've kind of filtered these out already. So there's about 61 instruments that in this auction, but there's 404 items in general, but the other stuff is kind of like you can see here, it could be anything to do with the home or other stuff, so we'll ignore that. So we've got about 61 items to look at. It looks like the buyer's premium is 21% on this, on top of the hammer price. As I said, this is a French auction. So if you are outside of France, if you are in the UK, or if you're international, then check all the kind of terms and conditions in regards to fees, import, export, shipping, etc. And also if you're in France, check if there's any kind of additional shipping fees, etc. You can see all the details here. And yeah, without further ado, let's kind of get on and see what we have. I don't think this will take too long, but there are quite a lot of pictures on some of the lots, so yeah, let's crack on and give it a go. Okay, so the first lot we have here, French violin with a label for Nicolas Villaume, 359 length of back and a bow. I think definitely not a Villaume, needs some work, but interesting actually enough. At least they've got a lot of pictures, 18 pictures, that's quite staggering. Interesting case from Gand Frère shop in Paris. Bow, not so exciting, but yep, there you go, a lot of pictures, so that's positive, and not too bad pictures, odd angles, but better than nothing. Miracle violin, 356 length of back, labelled à la bonne Lorraine, shop de Quai Bleif, and a bow. Looks like some interesting varnish stuff going on to this one. That kind of typical dark red French varnish. Bow there. So a student violin here from Miracle, 358mm. And another bow there. Oh, we nearly missed on there. Another student violin, 359 from the 1930s. Actually really nice back to that, but looks like it is open, or it's been badly re-glued, so that's gonna cost a bit, but nice nice wood on the back. Otherwise, a bow pretty standard. 3/4 violin here. This looks fairly ordinary. Small half-size violin from Miracle. Pretty normal. Another student violin, 357 length of back. Looks a bit like that kind of Medifino-esque kind of thing. German violin here, 353 length of back, 1980s. No fingerboard. Yeah, not too bad a back there. With a bow. French violin with a Quattro Duro mark, 362 length of back. Looks interesting. of pictures there, a little bit more interesting than some of the other bits. Another student violin, 337 length of back. They all have pretty similar labels in. Another 3/4 violin there, 337. German student violin, they're saying here, 362. And a lot of 4 violins here. A whole load of pictures, all fairly tradey stuff. Another lot of 4 violins here. All the same kind of trade things, but at least fair play to them that they've added quite a lot of photos. We can't hold that against them. Better more photos than not enough. Another 3 violins, once again all the same kind of stuff. Medifino, I mean they can actually be quite good companion. Yeah, it's all the kind of standard tradey kind of type ones, but might potentially be useful as student instruments. Another 3 violins here. So let's see, so I mean not too bad kind of wood on that. All potential is kind of lower level student instruments, I'd say, with a bit of work. Another 6 violins. A lot of pictures to go through, which we don't see so often. It's quite rare to see so many. Another set of violins. Yep. And a student violin here, 360 length of back. Ooh, we're on a internet break there. Is it just not like this picture for some reason? Here we are. It's probably too detailed. Looks like it's been kind of revarnished, stripped and revarnished. That's why it looks a little bit odd. Another student violin, 3/4. With a bow. The bow not too bad. All needs a little bit of work, but interesting enough. 3 violins, or kind of viola d'amore, I think. It's actually quite an interesting, quite nice wood on that. Quite an interesting carve. German violin, Magini copy, 358 length of back. Lots of pictures on this one. German violin with a JB Viome label, 357 length of back. Slightly more interesting than some of the other bits. 2 violins, fairly kind of standard. This other violin is quite interesting with the inked purfling on the back, actually. Slightly curious, or ink purfling on the front as well. Yeah, slightly more interesting. So a 19th century miracle violin, Nicolas Morlot. Restorations needed. I think most of the things need some kind of restoration. Interesting enough, though. Couple of bows. Student violin here. They're saying Mark Kirkin. Standard kind of stuff. Student violin, 1930s. Another student violin here. 355. I think more trade violin. Perhaps that's the better translation for that. With the old lion head. Better lion than most of them, but still nothing too fancy. Violin Marquis de la Dizot. Another kind of standard violin. You see a lot of those in the French auctions. Bow here by Auguste Lenoble. Certificate from Pierre Guillaume with that. So 4,000 to 6,000 is that. Definitely looks interesting. There's your certificate. And they say a beautiful and rare French violin, a copy of Guarneri del Gesù, miracle work 1840 or 50, 358mm is the length of back. Certainly looks a little bit more interesting than some of the other lots. Not 100% sure on that estimate, but it would be interesting to see how it sells. Cello bow here. Interesting description. In the spirit of the great bow makers of the 1920s and 30s. They really do like to put a lot of pictures in these lots, which I guess we shouldn't complain about, because that's kind of really handy if you're looking to buy something. Silver mounted French violin bow, work of makers from Miracle, 1500 to 2000. It does look fairly interesting. Whole load of bows here. How many pictures do we have for that? 18. That is extremely rare to see. That's quite a nice looking frog. Rare to see so many photos of a bunch of bows, but well, this auction house like to go the extra mile, so fair enough. A rare double bass bow bearing the authentic iron mark of Gand and Bernardel. Interesting. 800 to 1,000 euros is the estimate. It's actually quite a nice looking bow, that, I have to say. Open trench frog. Yeah, it's quite pleasant. Quite like that, actually. One of my favourite lots so far. Violin by Emile Blondelet. Inscription under the table: Mougenot Roussels, 361 length of back. Definitely looks a bit better workmanship than some of the others. Mirecourt Fournier Mougenier cello with its authentic label there, 2,500 to 3,000 is the estimate. These pictures are a bit better. These are a bit standard. These are the ones that we need for the violin. That's actually quite a good set of photos. Here's a German bow, early 19th century, the work of Christian Wilhelm Knopf, apparently. 2,000 to 3,000 is the estimate there. Quite a nice curve on the head. Interesting. Looks like a nice stick. Mirecourt cello, 19th century, in the style of Charot, to be restored. We go back to kind of slightly all over the place photos again. Child's cello, Mirecourt, 19th century. '19th century violin, and in the style of Nicolas Viau, length 370. That's interesting. Just the body, with a massive hole in the back. Interesting. 80 to 100 euros. Well, that's definitely a project for someone. See an Eastern European violin, just varnished wood. Still, they take 18 photos of this and a bow. Got to admire that dedication. Rare double bass bow, 19th century, Charles Nicolas Bazin, certificate of Mr. Guillaume. Interesting. Another double bass bow by Charles Nicolas Bazin. And a Louis Bazin double bass bow, early 19th century. Another double bass bow, early 19th century. Looks like they're saying damage to the edge of the head mortise. You see a picture, you can see there's a chunk out of the head mortise there, which is unfortunate. And a German cello bow made as a copy of J. Tubbs, 2 to 3,000. Well, and then I think we're out of bowed strings now. We're into a Yamaha Yaz 25 saxophone there. Once again, a million pictures. I think we're probably good with that. silver alto lyrist saxophone. Belonged to the Republican Guard. Interesting. Saxa Marti Kraslitz. Tenor saxophone from Mark Nukirkin. A Parrot tenor saxophone, needs to be serviced. A Jupiter tenor saxophone. A Marti Kraslitz harmony trumpet. A Gemmenhardt transverse flute. Clarinet stamped Milleroo in wooden box. A damaged Hohner accordion. A Bontempi Seco children's accordion. An accordion for children by Studio 2. A set of 4 Hohner harmonicas. And a lot of 2 mandolins, of which one is signed Colino Napoli. Let's have a quick look at these pictures. Fairly standard kind of stuff, but still good to see a lot of pictures. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the musical instruments in this particular auction. Yeah, quite an interesting auction, really. More interesting than I thought it would be, and good to see so many pictures on each lot. I think a lot of other auction houses could kind of learn from that. Some lots probably didn't need quite so many pictures, but still it is good to see that some auction houses do take a few more images. So yeah, an interesting enough auction. I'll put a link in the description. Check it out and see what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.